if you're seeing this, then this is your very first Tarot Tuesday message of 2025. Look at that. You made it. Just barely. I just barely made it. But here we are in 2025. The first Tuesday of 2025. And we're going to see what kind of messages we have. Whether you've been here before, it's been a long time since you've been here. If you've never been here, welcome. My name is Lara. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on astrologically and then just get some insight. I have my oracle deck. I have my tarot deck. I have usual suspects. I not know. Just back at it again. So, I hope everyone had a happy and safe holiday season. I hope you are getting over your sickness. I know I'm getting over mine. Pretty much everyone I've spoken to has been sick since January 1st. Yeah, but that's, it's full on winter now. So it's time to let it get quiet. All right? I'm here for it. Capricorn season is here. So we're recalibrating, we're assessing plans. We might as well just get into it. And again, these, I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology. I myself am not an astrologer, but a lot of the work that I do with oracle and tarot cards is astrologically informed. So I do like to kind of talk about it because just like the weather, astrology gives us a forecast, and we're here on Tarot Tuesdays to get a forecast of the week ahead. The next 7 days is what we're going to be looking at specifically before I get too far ahead of myself. And so if you're seeing this, this is for Tuesday, January 7th, which is also coming out like at the very end of the day, whatever. The 7th through the 13th is the week that we're in the space-time continuum. Gregorian calendar is what I'm on. And if you're seeing this and it's not that time, maybe it's tomorrow or it's a month from now or a year from now, it doesn't matter. Someone recently reminded me that time is not linear. So when you're seeing these messages, the messages that are here are meant to find you in this exact moment. And if you're here during that time, January 7th through the 13th, then you're swimming in these kinds of energies, and these are the themes that we're working with. But it really doesn't matter because you are where you are, and you got to work where you are, and you got to start with where you are. So yeah, that's that. Also, this is a general reading of an energy, okay? So I always say take what you like, leave what doesn't. Not everything may resonate, or maybe it will. Sometimes you gotta sleep on it, and sometimes you just flat out are like, I don't know what that means, and all of that is okay. It doesn't mean that you are more or less connected in any capacity. And yeah, at the end of the day, what's meant for you, what's right for you. So trust that inner knowing, trust that intuition. Please don't just take what I say as blind truth. Please don't ever do that. Okay? Please use your own mind and make your own decisions. Okay? It's 2025, so we literally have to start doing that. Okay? And if you're here, you've probably already started to do that. Hopefully, or you are doing it. Yeah, I think that's kind of it for like what you need to know going in. As far as where we are, like I said, we're January 7th, 2025. And so this is the first full week has passed since the beginning of the new year. The new year that's in the Gregorian calendar, like I touched on a second ago. So what I love about this time of year is that what I'm coming to love about this time of year is this is, this a majority of societies that exist are operating on this calendar. So this is meant to do a lot of things, but I think there is a natural inclination to motivate you to be very action oriented at a time in the natural rhythm of the earth that is slowing way down and is getting very, very quiet. So if you're someone who makes New Year's resolutions or what have you, sets goals and intentions, that's always amazing. And absolutely, January 1st is a fresh new start. But also, we are in the midst of Capricorn season. So we've left Sagittarius season with all of our parties and celebrations, and now we're here, right? We've celebrated the light through the holiday season, and now here we are settling into the depths of winter. So if it feels a little unnatural to be super action oriented, a lot of, that's fine, because that's naturally the cycle of your body and nature is not there. But what this time is a good time to be making plans and sorting out actionable steps, like small steps to get you from point A to point B. I think that's like the best way to describe the Capricorn energy. The Capricorn is a sea goat, so it can go from the depths of the water and climb up the mountain. But in order to do that, there's a lot of steps in between where you start and where you're going to. And I think with the pressure of like New Year, right? New Year, new me. It doesn't have to be a new you. Every day can be a new you. Every minute, every hour, like that. You don't have to be beholden to that. But it is absolutely an opportunity for a fresh start. So, with the energy of Capricorn is very determined energy. So, I'm certainly using this as a time to let myself get quiet and get really clear about what my plans are for the rest of the year. And knowing that also at the end of February, we have the start of the lunar year or the Chinese New Year. Okay, so that's year start number 2 if you're on a lunar calendar. And if you are on the zodiac wheel, then your new year is going to be starting with the spring equinox, right? Because that is when nature really comes to life, comes back to life, right? Literally new growth. So there's that. And I kind of like the idea that the first, 3 or 4 months of the year is, the first 3 months of the year is the new year. So, and I always love a reason to celebrate and start over, but that's just me. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of that energy at the moment. So hopefully, if you're feeling lots of pressure, I hope that can help take some of the pressure off. Also, what's happening right now is we are in the midst of a Mars retrograde. Mars, we're all very familiar. Last year we talked a lot about like the outer planets that were retrograding. Chiron, the wounded healer, was retrograding. Mercury retrogrades, 4 times a year. Mars, though, this is a personal planet, unlike the outer planets, which are much more generational when we're talking about Pluto, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter. These are our outer planets, so you will have the placements of those more in common with people in your generation. And then the inner planets are the ones that are more of your personal planets. Mars, being a personal planet, only retrogrades once every couple years. So it's a little bit different. Mars actually went retrograde December 6th. So we've been here for a solid month already. And it's retrograding in Leo and moving back to Cancer, I think is what it is. So there's a lot that will be exposed. Retrogrades themselves are a time of introspection, reflection, huge periods for personal growth. I think Mars is retrograding through March. So we're going to be spending a lot of time in this energy, and what else? The energy of Mars in retrograde. So Mars is a planet, again, of action. Retrograding, maybe, again, reflecting what we talked about with Capricorn, and winter time, both of those energies coming together. I think that's like aptly descriptive for a Mars retrograde as well. What are your plans? What are your goals? What are your desires? How are you going to get yourself there? I think it's also a good time to reflect on, it's fire energy, and Mars can also represent anger. Mars is the god of war as well. So, assessing where we are getting reactive. We're going to be working with that energy a lot. And what was the other thing? There was something else that I was like reading about that I was like, oh, that's the thing I wanted to like talk about. I don't know if it's going to come to me. Give me 1 second because I'm going to find it and then I'm going to tell you what it is because there's a good little nugget. Hang on. Ah, yes. Okay. Finding strength and vulnerability. That's what it was. That's a beautiful opportunity for a Mars retrograde. Where are you at your most vulnerable, and where do you find that beautiful golden nugget of strength? And then how do you start integrating that into who you are and how you operate? So yeah. That's kind of what's going on right now. As far as what like I'm sort of on the pulse of anyway. So why don't we just go ahead and get into it? I'm going to grab my oracle deck here. We're going to pull an oracle card or two or whatever comes out just to see what the vibe is. I'm going to try my tea. Oh yeah, she's perfect. Okay, here we go. So, what I would like to please ask is, could we get a sort of theme or like catch a vibe on what energy we'll be working with over the next 7 days, this collective of individuals coming here, those who have found this video. Ooh, there it is. There it is. What was it? Okay, interesting. Yes. Okay. So right out of the gate, we have the gardener. And the gardener is, what I'm getting is like tending to home. This person's literal clothes are a building here. There's plants growing on the building. It's giving like 6th house and Cancer vibes, and Mars is retrograde in Cancer. So that could be something. Let me just look right now. I'll look in the book and see. She's hugging that plant too. Okay, the gardener, non-judgment, acceptance, and self-compassion. Standing proud in a lush green garden, a woman holds a growing bulb in her arms. Can you see that? The two small houses spring from the plant, and her skirt is transformed into a house. She is the gardener of her soul, the caretaker of her home. Her feelings are the flowers of her garden. By taking care of herself, she keeps growing stronger. Stronger, power, Aries, Aries, Mars. Aries is ruled by Mars. I was there if you were in my head with me. Okay. By taking care of herself, she grows strong. She keeps growing stronger. But sometimes uninvited guests invade the garden, intruders like jealousy or shame. Ooh. If we recognize these as neither good nor bad, aha. Yeah, this is very Mars retrograde energy. If we recognize these as neither good nor bad, but something to be investigated and accepted, we can treat ourselves with compassion and keep blooming. So when I was talking about like watching our reactions to things, I think a lot of this too is going to apply to self-talk, retrograde, going within, introspection. How are we talking to ourselves? What are the situations happening outside of us that are triggering us? And what is that voice in your head saying to you when things like that happen? Okay, interesting. Let's get a little spicy, shall we? Let's see what the spicy oracle has to say. 1, 2, 3. Well, too late. I lost it. Okay. Let's see what we got. Okay. Okay, I think I've got it. So we've got here 2 of the fire and 1 of the hots of our packets here. The first one says, too bad you're not single. Whatever. Too bad you're not single. Prove it. And step aside. So this is almost as if an energy that's coming in that is felt like all talk up until this point. This could literally be something to do with you being single in the sense that like you're not in a partnered relationship, whatever. I don't think that necessarily is the case. This feels, because what I'm getting is like, too bad you're not single. If that was in a situation extracted, it's this idea that there's like an energy that has been perceived as like all talk and no action up until this point. And prove it coming right after that, with that going back to that first energy that's like, well, step aside. You know, it's as if you are the one that is like, prove it. I mean, it could be you could be the too bad you're not single energy, or you could be the prove it energy. But there's an energy of something being perceived as all talk, no action. And now you're demanding the action, and that other energy is like, well, step aside. Almost as if it was just like waiting for the opportunity to show itself. Or the step aside could be that you are perceiving that energy as all talk, no action, and you're moving it out of the way. Ooh, because that's sort of like been the energy around for me already getting into this year. Seriously, nothing that was coming into 2025 is sticking with me. It's like, I'm like, oh, all right, well, there goes that. Okay. So I could see it as being one or the other, maybe both. Okay. But I think there's more that can be revealed on that. But let's see what the cards have to say. So, could I please have 3 cards? That's 1, for our forecast. What does the next 7 days have in store for us, considering this energy and these vibes that you have brought to the table? Please and thank you. That's number 2 and that's number 3. Perfect. Wow. Uh-huh. 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 Okay, give me 1 second. All right, let's see if we can make sense of this. So we're going to start where we always start, at the bottom of the deck. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Sun card, which is so interesting because the Shadow card here, right, this is representing our subconscious, our inner world. The energy that comes through these cards is energy just underneath the surface. And this is what's literally controlling everything that's at play in our waking lives. So there is this energy of like extreme positivity, light, like this is very like beautiful with the rainbow. This is giving authenticity. This is confidence, courage. There's innocence as well in this card. It's highly, highly creative, solar plexus chakra energy. So this is a very strong sense of self that's coming through right away through the shadow, which I think is so fascinating. And then underneath that is the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, right? And I was like, okay. And it's almost as if, like we were talking about with the gardener here, there's this sense of self coming through despite missed opportunities, but also highlighting a real need for strong foundations, right? The seed that may be on offer for you, there's like not strong soil to plant it. Gardener. And the seed, the plant, I mean, this is, in essence, it's you. And I think it's being, it's being shown through different opportunities or lack of opportunity maybe coming. But also the moon energy is right behind that. So you have the sun and the moon, the light and the dark, all coming up through the shadow, sort of sandwiching in the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So this is highlighting more facing fears, okay? Listening to intuition. I think I'm feeling the reason these seeds aren't planting is because there's a real missed opportunity in trusting your own intuition. However, this is all that energy is pushing the Sun card through. Right? I'm hearing like blind optimism, like blinding sunlight. Also the imagery of like you as the light in the darkness is coming through with the sun. That it's not that tending to yourself and tending to your garden is how you are able to confront these aspects that have not been structured in a way for you to lay that solid foundation that you need. Okay, so then what does that mean for the next 7 days? Well, right out of the gate, we have the Devil card. Darkness, I guess. Shadow, right? But this is, I think particularly with the Mars retrograde that we are fully in at the moment, we're still identifying the things that are the things, people, and places that are holding us back. What maybe this, and actually with what we were talking about with this card of like things like jealousy and shame coming in to the garden, going back to that like inner voice, that inner critic. What thoughts continue to control you that are keeping you from facing the fears that need to be removed so that you can create a solid foundation for yourself. Till a soil worth planting the seed. Because you can plant a seed, right? But if it has to grow around rocks and obstacles that are in its way, it's not going to grow as freely or as easily, right? I mean, that's the adversity there to grow around. Healthy versus unhealthy growth? Is that a thing? I don't know. It just came in there, so I said it. It just came up, so I said it. So yeah. I think also here with the Devil card, this is going to be like some challenge of ego coming in the beginning of the week. Now, it's the Nine of Wands right behind it that is giving this energy of like, don't give up yet. You're almost at the end. Also, this year is a 9 year. 2025 is a collective like year nine, which is at the end of a cycle. Completions. And the Nine of Wands is speaking to our ability to continue to stand up and implement our boundaries, to protect our boundaries. More of that is really giving this gardener energy that we talked about. And I'm also feeling like with the sauce packets, too bad you're not single, prove it, step aside. It's like if you don't put up or shut up, whatever energy you're dealing with, if you don't, and this could be you yourself with yourself, often it is. If you don't put up or shut up, maybe you're tired of your own shit. If you don't put up or shut up, one way or another, this needs to be taken out of the equation. Is this making sense? And then with the end of the week here, with the Three of Cups in reverse, this is, I'm really honing in on this as like, where are we bringing the value in relationships to self, relationships to others, in situations? Because if you're continuing to operate in this idea that you maybe aren't bringing any value, or or there's some sort of mentality of like, you are not in control of your freedom and your own liberation. I think the answer here is like really being clear with yourself and others about boundaries and identifying super concisely what value you bring. What value do you bring to the table? Honey, I built the table. I heard somebody say that once and I liked it. But I think that's, you know, yeah. Or there could be some sort of miscommunication about the value. If you are not doing the work to prove it or step aside, you may not even be clear about what value you're bringing to things. But I think if you are being really clear with yourself, facing those fears, right? And protecting yourself from thoughts, self-talk, limiting beliefs, self-sabotaging behavior, then I think it's really more of this garden energy of like, you know, you have a choice to take care of yourself or not. As difficult as that may seem on a daily basis. The world makes it so hard for you to choose caring for yourself on purpose. But that real growth happens when you have the ability to show up for yourself. First, knowing who you are. And being really clear and firm with your boundaries. Look, it's not like the voices are going to go away. But maybe it's time to reframe the conversation. When I pick up on those voices, I'm like, excuse me. And I actually give facts and figures and points of, evidence as to why those voices are incorrect now. Okay? Because I've lived some experience at this point where I can say, wait. No, because this is where you've been and this is where you are. And that's the reality of the situation. So don't you dare speak to me that way. And that's me having conversations with my own self. I won't hear it. That's what I say a lot to myself. Lest you forget. I don't know. Hopefully this helps. Does it make sense? This is kind of what I'm seeing. So I think a lot of it is, and I think it's really interesting because Mars is doing some retrograding in Cancer. So there may also, what I'm hearing like for last looks is there may also be some reassessment of like routines and the way that you live your life in your home that support you in tending to yourself and tending to your own garden. Because you're going to have to do that first before you can show up for anybody else. So anyway, that's what I've got. Let me know if that makes sense. Leave me a comment below. Make sure you're following and all of the things. I appreciate you so much for being here. I will see you on the other side.